Hello there and welcome back to SoundCake Podcast, the place we talk about everything regarding the music situation that we live and go through in this very day that is based on the year of the Lord 2025, right?
Yeah.
Allegedly, because if you ask those who are into the whole conspiracy theory behind the phantom time, are you aware of it?
We're coming strong.
Yes. Well, first, if you don't know, the phantom time conspiracy theory is very, very interesting because it claims that it was, I think, Charlemagne who forced the calendar ahead or behind just for his crowning ceremony to match with the year 1000.
That's badass.
It's badass. Yeah, it is. And allegedly, according to those who are into this whole theory or the proposers for it, they are claiming that our year system is incorrect by a margin of several hundred years.
And where did those years go?
They don't know if it's forward or backwards.
Okay. So starting off already, tinfoil hat.
Interesting, right? Tinfoil hat. Yeah, so interesting for you, interesting to you, the story of Brave, and it's gotta be set from time to time conspiratorial.
Yes. Hello, girls and boys. How's it going?
And not necessarily beautiful, but
no, that's only a few days a week.
Yeah,
if
from
I'm
time
lucky.
to time. From time to time. Yeah.
So very glad you're back. Great to have you here as well. So yeah. So actually, Charlemagne changing the time space continuum itself. Does it already fits into the core of what we're going to be talking about in this video? Toxic masculinity.
Ah, yes. Yes, look at that. It's only through toxicity that we can change the time-space continuum, right? No, yeah, all jokes aside. We're going to be talking, well, this whole conversation, or the idea for today's conversation got inspired by totally not events that happened last week in youth. And how the terrible reaction from some people online has been, well, quite notorious. I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to point fingers, you know who I'm talking to, who I'm talking about, and what kind of behavior we're discussing. And that brought to the table the idea of, is this toxic? Is this actually the definition of what toxic truly means?
Yeah.
And what... and what correlation does it has with rock music? Why? Because rock music has been deemed for a good chunk of time as being aggressive, problematic, misogynistic, racist, national socialist. What else? Islamophobic. Everything that every phobia and ism under the sun has been used to describe rock music, and to be much more precise, its fan base. And in a nutshell, could be summarized into the whole concept of being toxic, a very much modern word that has spread its hideous wings for the last 15 years?
Something like that, I suppose. Yeah.
It caught on 10 years ago greatly. It became a thing.
But look, to provide a little bit of context,
Yes.
what are we talking about here when we're talking about this modern idea of toxicity? What exactly is considered toxic nowadays?
First, don't be confused with the album by System of a Down.
Yeah.
Not necessarily good album.
The song Toxicity is a very popular song.
Extremely popular. I think the album is meh. It's not bad.
I don't know the rest of the album, honestly. I think I only know the hit, and it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. It's like the song.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Yes. So defining.
Toxicity.
Yes.
Okay, I think mostly is attributed nowadays to behaviors such as being
stoic, but in the right sense of stoicism.
What do you mean by that?
Not being, not letting your emotions take over you in a moment of stress, aka not being emotional incontinent.
Yeah, it's one of the things because the antithesis to that, as it is being portrayed nowadays, is being in touch with your feelings.
Yes, and expressing yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Even let's use that as the starting point, because there's a very, very easy correlation to make with music as well. We can get to that as well.
Yes. The way that is portrayed nowadays, it's basically giving you chances or giving you the excuse to throw a tantrum, even though you might be already 50 years old. Because that's not the way that you should handle your emotions, man. By exploding and in a burst of tears or screaming and shouting, which is something that it's starting to become more common everywhere in the world. It's not the proper way to address an emotional situation. And this is not coming from me just saying it out loud just because I say so. No, it's irrational. Because if you try to analyze things through the lens of reason and logic, you will end up realizing that first. Let's say you're on the right, okay? And you start throwing a tantrum without even caring for the outlook that your explosion in emotion might give the rest of the people watching what you're trying to say. And keep in mind, you're in the right. You're correct in this one. The way you present yourself is the way that your message is going to be interpreted. And even though if you are holding the truth, but you present it in such an uncontrollable way, in such an infantile, lacking any form of self-control, even the truth will be ignored. That's why from there onwards, it's irrational to react in such an emotional way. You're gonna prove yourself correct. It begins with the way you present yourself.
The way you handle yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think?
100%. That's actually. I don't think that's even a point of content.
That's
a fact.
Well, the thing is that it is nowadays, because that's why people are reacting the way they are reacting to what happened to Charlie. That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
It is indeed. And I think. How do you think, actually, for me as a question, how do you think we got to a point where behaviors and, let's say, emotional reactions that weren't accepted, let's say, as far back as 20 years ago, not that long ago, nowadays have become so common, have become so normalized?
Because we normalized we normalized the denormalization of temperance, which is a heroic virtue. We stopped fostering the idea of being able to withstand the blows of life, because now we turn into a currency, social currency, your victimhood, or how hard you got it.
That's true.
Get me?
Yeah.
That's why. And that's how. Because little by little, what they promoted as, oh, have pity for this poor soul, be gentle, try to be nice to them because he's having a hard day. It's not my problem, man. I shouldn't, because that guy, the hypothetical guy, doesn't know if I'm having a bad day or not, man. Why should I care for his if he's not caring for mine, right? And he's not being egotistical either, man. He's being pragmatic and he's being objective.
Yeah.
Because since I shouldn't be caring for his life because it's his, not mine, why should I be expecting for him to care for mine? It's mutual.
Yeah.
This is called respect.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna bother him because I don't know if he's having a bad day.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't be like, are you having a bad day? It's his own responsibility.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that it should be easy to accept the notion that each of us are out there for our own. We're all trying to protect our own interests, which doesn't necessarily mean that we shouldn't give a flying F about anybody else, because that's when the interest of the notion of being a part of something comes into play. Because it's not because you're out for yourself, you're defending your own interests. It doesn't mean that you don't understand the fact that if you care for your surroundings, that's good for you as well. Now I'm talking more from a civic perspective.
But once again, that brings responsibility to the conversation.
Yeah.
Because you're being responsible. Once again, responsibility is another rational reaction to reality.
Yeah.
Because if I go to the bathroom on the streets rather than the bathroom, I'm trying to control to use the correct wording. Wherever I drop, it's gonna stay there because there is no way for me to flush it. So next time I go there, there will be more. There will be that one plus the new one.
Yeah.
And it will pile up.
Yeah.
And the result will generate many more problems. Sickness is gonna attract animals. It's gonna attract any form of. It's not gonna be good, man.
Yeah.
Starting from the smell.
And look,
is that a rational thing to do? No.
It is. No. This thinking.
Okay.
Because this thinking also makes a very strong point in the sense that whatever you do, even from a civic, social perspective, is also done thinking on how it's going to impact you, just looking at it at a macro
the
scale.
best of your interest.
Yeah, just looking at it from a fisheye lens rather than a micro lens.
Yes.
Because if you are intelligent enough to see how the things that you do go back to bite you in the ass, or go back to actually provide you with a better context, it makes you care not not of your comrade, but it makes you care.
Comrade is not a word that we like over here, man. your fellow citizenship.
No, exactly, because you understand how that care, that it's not even care, it's just that It's not even empathy as well, the word that I'm looking for. I'm trying to
No,
think
it's
of
just
the...
it's being mindful of
Yeah.
how important it is.
civic.
Yeah, because it's almost like there's a word for it, right? Like karma.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you do something that you don't
Yeah.
want to happen to you, and you do it anyway, it will eventually happen to you.
Yeah.
Because life has its ways. It always finds a way.
Look, bringing it back to music now.
Yes.
Because we talked about how something that wasn't necessarily common or acceptable a while back became acceptable now, and it correlates quite a lot to a period in time where music changed
Yes, dramatically,
especially music in the mainstream. How can we draw a correlation in between those two changes?
Easy. Music is the result of what? Human activity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Humans are the ones who are starting to change their behavior out of these particular performative showcase of emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And turning that social currency that comes out of victimhood as the way that they behave and develop themselves as in a society. Of course, music is going to be impacted by this mentality. And what happened? Everything started to get softer, less edge. And I'm not meaning being through metal, right? Heavy. No, content-wise, the complexity of the music started to go more conservative in that nature. In the sense of it being not innovative, because they started to use innovation as a way to justify the lack of creativity. Innovation doesn't mean creativity, doesn't have any form of correlation. One is a byproduct of the other. And one involves a little bit of innovation. Creativity involves innovation, because innovation per se is not creative. It's just testing. It's the old adage says, it's FAFO.
Yeah.
Until something happens, something good or something bad, but you will eventually figure out what happens. But creativity is not faffing around. It's inspiration. It comes from the source of. There's a bigger source for it, and a good and creativity shouldn't be afraid of being daring, because it is through those explorations or those moments of actual recklessness from a creative perspective that you can hit gold. And the issue is that people started to be more kind of safe spacey.
Yeah.
We created safe space for spaces for everything, and music clearly got impacted, man. And a genre such as rock music, which is all about edge on every regard, man. Even the most pop-oriented band is edgy compared to wherever is in the mainstream, for real. Because at least even think of Prince, highly marketable, full of edge, man. Every time that he released a record, like, damn. This one went too far, man. Or this one I was expecting crazier, but because he had edge, man. And this is someone who was at the very forefront of the billboards, man. Full on.
Yeah, but the culture that allowed for that has changed dramatically. Because even for the existence of an act like Prince, who was very daring, even using a word that you use, on every single way that the word can present itself in music, nowadays the atmosphere doesn't allow for something like that. Because even thinking on the whole concept of, for instance, of political correctness, and how that can be a limiting factor in expression. Be it artistic or even going outside of the artist, social posts on social media or whatever. You mentioned yourself, if one of the ways to explore or tap into the potential of creativity is being daring.
Having balls.
Yes, but the whole notion of trying to tiptoe around unspoken rules can be very hindering of that particular principle.
And that's one of the reasons why we saw this kind of not a slowdown, but backwards movement or backwards development of music in the last 2 decades, man. Because using rock as a reference, but this applies to every genre, okay? Especially the pop-oriented genres, the much more mainstream ones. Those are the ones that I think are the biggest, the biggest victims of them all. But in rock music, let's go back to the early 2000s. System of a Down. Very different band. Unique. Daring. Yes. I don't like them, man. Just to be frank. But they are good. They do their job correctly. They are good at what they do.
And they do have an identity, a personality. When
Full
it
on,
comes
man.
being a band.
Even the dudes, man. If I mention the name of their band, you are looking at their faces. Because even that It's important. It is, man, because you need to be able to see who you're actually listening to.
Yeah.
And their music should represent their personalities, and their personalities should be portrayed by the people who is performing.
Yeah.
It's something that is lost, and you got bands at that point. And it's a particular period of time, musical speaking, that I don't happen to be a fan of. Okay, it's simply, I'm gonna put it that way, but it still had personality, man. Because you got who were kind of like their contemporaries, Limp Bizkit, totally different.
Yeah.
Korn, totally different. Even Papa Roach, totally different. POD, all of those new metal bands.
Yeah.
You might make the claim that they were kind of cookie cutter, maybe, but at least the presentation of the cookies were different. Some of them were chocolate based or were vanilla, but all of them had vanilla on them. But whatever, go how much you comment.
So yeah, go. Can read a comment. Who left the comment?
Here, Christian Thompson here saying, I don't like satanic music. Not like I'm superstitious or religious or anything. I just don't like it for some reason. That's totally fine, man.
Yeah.
Like Marilyn Manson, he made a few good songs, but I refuse to listen to him. That's totally respectable, man, because that's out of principle.
Yeah.
And sticking to your guns is very important because it's something that we lost as well along the way. A good chunk of what means, and thanks for a comment, what means to be unique and establishing or making a mark of, paving the way for yourself to make yourself who you are, is defining the boundaries that you're not willing to cross. Why? Because you don't want to.
Yeah, and look, I think the act of disliking something is one of the truest manifestations of freedom of speech.
100%.
Because, let's say Marilyn Manson exists, good thing that exists because it has the opportunity to exist. You're not necessarily meant, or you shouldn't necessarily like it.
Yes.
Some people will, some people won't. And it's correct that it goes like that.
Yes, and look, we can have a civil discourse.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike certain people. So, yeah, because we can agree that we disagree.
Yeah.
But wherever, coming back to this thing, we started to lose that edge. Because, look, Marilyn Manson comes from the same period. He was a little bit earlier, right? He comes from
quite a lot of edge as well.
But full of just edge, man.
Yeah.
Basically. But it's an act that is clearly definable. It's easy to spot, and it's very unique. You can make the claim that it's also like an edgier version of Alice Cooper, maybe, like an angsty Gen X version of Alice Cooper, maybe. But there is no one like him.
Yeah.
Not even Alice Cooper, and him is not trying to replace Alice Cooper because Alice Cooper is still around.
Yeah.
White personality. But then 2010s. Do you remember any band from the 2010s? And it was the height of the indie movement.
Yeah, but those, big quote unquote. But no, there's nothing that's truly remarkable about most of those bands.
Let's say everybody, Kings of Leon, of course. The Mars Volta, kinda. Who else? Franz Ferdinand, but Franz Ferdinand is kinda what kind of Mars Volta? Also, you got Kings of Leon already mentioned. Damn it!
The Killers, all of those guys. Yeah. But they started to look more cookie cutter. The band that stands out, and it's not from 2010s, it's 2000s, is The Darkness. But why? Because they were doing the retro stuff, man. They were. This is like a mix between Queen and hair metal. So it's all cheese. Fun band. They got some good songs, being frank. I'm not a fan either, but also Muse is on one that
Muse
well.
probably is the biggest of them all in that particular period, man. But yeah, Muse is late mid 2000s and basically the first half of the 2010s.
Yeah, but even Muse as well, which I think was the biggest of them all at that point in time.
Kinda no longer.
Yeah, I think it lost quite a lot of the flair. I don't even know if they are still a thing, being very honest.
Me neither, man. But I think it's due to rock stopping being a thing as well, man.
But look, I think, and even we can. I want to take this as a way to put our conversation in a proper path.
Yes.
Which is, rock and roll has always been driven by a sentiment. It's not just a genre of music. It's actually, it was and still is a movement.
Yeah.
Because it defends something. There's something substantial at its very core.
Yes.
And one of the main things that is contained in the core of rock and roll is being not establishment's not the word I'm looking for, but it's being what's the name?
Individualistic.
No, but
anti-establishment.
No, but
sticking to the man.
Not being
Conformist.
Thank
Yes.
you. The word simply left my mind.
Yes.
So there's a very present non-conformist element
100%.
about rock and roll.
100%.
I think most of rock music, especially talking 2000s, especially after 2010s, completely lost that essence.
I agree.
Not only lost, but it went completely the other end of the spectrum.
Yes, it's I do what you told me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't you think that plays a very big role in why those modern bands have no substance to them?
Yes, 100%, and it's very much related to what how we started this conversation, because it's the result or the byproduct of this kind of playing it safe mentality.
Yeah.
Because when you are conformist, is because when you think in a very conformistic way, you won't have the balls to maybe this might be offensive to this guy, and who cares? It's his own problem, not yours. And we're talking about artists, not you're gonna go there and insult the
guy to his face.
the son of a gun.
Yeah.
No, it's simply
You're expressing yourself
because you're concerned of what you do being disliked by someone. And bad news and late news for you, but everybody in the world will dislike you, regardless of how good you are. Especially if you're good, they're gonna hate you. That's a fact and it's part of life. Deal with it. Because if you're afraid of being disliked, well, you're in the wrong planet, man. Because no, man, there is no way for you to be loved by all.
Yeah, that's true. And I think a lot of what we see in efforts in music making, but not only music making, everything, is trying to cater to everybody.
Yeah.
And the whole notion of trying to cater to everybody is already wrong, even in its inception.
Yeah.
Because since you can't, all you're doing is basically watering down everything,
Yes.
trying to remove all edge, trying to remove all points of actual personality
Yep.
in order to make it inoffensive to everybody.
Yeah.
But nobody's gonna love it.
Yeah, that's why Vanilla Ice is liked, but is not loved. Because from time to time it's okay to have this kind of flat flavor, but it's never the main course. You always have Vanilla Ice alongside something else. Always, even if you go for ice cream, it's vanilla with something, right? It's vanilla and chocolate.
Yeah.
The Napolitano, of course. So yes, so that's probably one of the best ways to describe the situation, because modern music is the universal attempt at making everything universally appealing.
But not only music, because
Everything,
everywhere
man.
we look, we're seeing exactly the same phenomenon.
Everything, because you see movies being sucky, out of what? Out of being terribly boring.
Yeah, lacking personality,
Yes,
style.
because they don't want to be disliked. Movies will be disliked. Everything you will be disliked. Even when you walk down the street, somebody already looks funny at you. Why? You did something that they didn't like, man.
Yeah,
And it's sorry, it's normal. It will happen to everybody.
yeah.
And the same goes the other way. But why would somebody like you? Because you did something that attracted the attention of that girl. Somehow.
Yeah.
So
Something somehow worked.
so if you stop doing what made that hot chick turn her head over your
Yeah.
area, why do you think she's gonna do it again? No, you gotta stick around. I stick to what worked, and what worked is what being you. And what if you come to me? What if being me sucks? Well, stop being that sucky guy. Be something cool.
You, but better.
Yeah, because in a world in which you can be you can be Jean-Claude Van Damme, why did you choose being freaking Steven Seagal?
Right in the field.
Just saying. Just saying.
I feel personally attacked.
Well, there are people with good taste and Steven Seagal fans, but wherever. What do you think?
No, I think that whole thing about because even coming back to the very very beginning of the conversation, the notion of toxic.
Yes.
I think sticking to your guns and actually having a well-defined personality.
In this day and age,
Yeah, it's something
Makes
that's
you
considered toxic.
Yes.
The whole idea of being super into something, having very defined personality traits, things that not necessarily most people could relate to, even that idea of being relatable, is something that already by default turns into toxic.
yes.
And, well, let's say 20 years ago was simply having a personality.
Yeah. Well, that guy, I like him. Why? He has balls.
Yeah.
He's kind of gung-ho. He's very, very upfront. I like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's mean. It could be mean, but comes from a place of good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Of course,
Because
there will be moments in which you know you need to read the room first, man. Just ask questions before shooting. Yeah. So here, Christian here saying, I always liked rebellious music since I was like 10 years old. I started to listen to Public Enemy, yeah, but I never liked all that hip hop where they brag and stuff. Good point, because even it started to be a thing in other genres of music. This whole thing with the bling bling culture, which is terrible, because you never show off. People discover. If you have something of value, let them find it. Don't go there and show it, because that's bad taste. It's poor manners and it looks bad, man.
Yeah.
And this whole culture of being like, look at this, yo. Yeah. It's promoting, and I'm gonna sound like one of those uber conservative pearl clutching Bible reading guy, but that's not correct, man. That's indulging yourself in the pleasures of the mundane,
Terrenal.
the stuff that is material.
Yeah.
That holds no value in the long run, because you will eventually die. So what was the point? What does your bling bling did to you at that point in your life? Nothing, because you are no longer here. So it never meant anything. So the fact that we started to push that kind of mentality focused on the material aspect of life rather than the transcendental is a huge problem, because music, particularly music, art in general, but music in particular, due to the lyrical content and the connection between the musical aspect of music and the lyrical content, has this particular way to present and kind of not manipulate but develop or allow the development of your understanding of reality at both cognitive and emotional, because the lyrical content will hit your brain while the music is going to hit your soul, and both of them will shape you in a way if you don't know what's going on. It has plenty of power, man.
Yeah.
It could be used for good, but as in this case, it's being used to promote stupidity, man.
Yeah, and especially if you decide to look at the more soulful side of music, if you want to go that route.
Yes.
Music is a tool for inspiration.
Agreed.
And it inspires because of the reasons that you mentioned. It reaches you at a deeper level. In having music focused on the materialistic aspect of life is almost like it's not a paradox, but it's something that's an antithesis of itself.
Yes.
Because it's something that is supposed to connect at a spiritual level and being done to promote the most mundane thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not saying that music should be all thought-provoking and super deep in content, because one of my favorite tracks is freaking Panama by Van Halen.
It's fun.
It's fun, stupid, and it's about a car. But it's presented in a... Look, this is the beauty. The track is talking about the emotion the car produces. It's not, my car has these wheels and I spent thousands of dollars on, look at my... No. It's about the emotions, the thrill of running fast on the car.
Yeah.
The girls he got out of... All of his memories, man. There is some... He's using the effigy of the car to tell the tale of juvenile fun.
Yeah.
And that's relatable, man. That's why I like the track. Even at a cognitive level, it's a very stupid song, but it's fun because of it being honest. And kind of, this is not rocket science, man. This is not Pink Floyd. We're not trying to, this is not George Orwell's turning to music.
But the thing is, it's still fulfilling the purpose of being music, which is portraying and exposing a real emotion. I don't put necessarily a hierarchy in emotions. No. I don't think that fun, for instance, is lesser than sadness, for instance. No. There is music that portrays sadness, and usually to portray sadness properly, you would go a little bit more on the, how can I say, on the more expressive side of things.
Probably intensity.
Yeah.
I would use intensity because fun, it's not necessarily as intense as happiness.
Yeah.
But it's closer to happiness if you have happiness and sadness on the polar opposites.
Yeah.
Fun is like taking you there.
But still, a band being able to portray fun in a way that other people can connect to it, That's real music being made clearly.
Yeah. And that applies to any form of music, man, because there are great stupid songs that I like. For example, Tiesto. DJ Tiesto was not necessarily the kind of music that I listen to, but that Century track is fun, and it's very energetic. It's fun. It's perfect for. It's true to. It's honest to its own purpose, man.
Yeah.
And you can feel it. And no lyrics. It's an instrumental one. So yeah, and here what Christian is saying is also a good part of the problem, because, and I'd never stopped to think about it for real, because it's the kind of stuff that little by little became the norm. It was something that probably because I never pay attention to lyrics, being very honest. I had to listen to a song for 10 years for me to care for the lyrics, and I'm not joking, for real. There are still tracks that I've been listening to since I was a kid that I have no idea what they're about, and I have listened to them several thousands of times across my lifetime, and I still have no idea what they're about. But it's very common now. I pay attention to lyrics now because it's blatantly there. They're not even trying to make it metaphorical. Yeah. Because the whole concept of adding a little bit of beauty to a mundane message through the use of the language is starting to get lost. Yeah. It's no longer common, man. It's even rare to find a song that has lyrics that are not stupid. Indeed. Because the concept might be mundane, right? But the presentation could be beautiful. Yeah. And that's still artistic.
Yeah, especially because anything can be looked at in depth. I think that the real key here is depth. Yes. Because you can take anything and turn it into something deep if you decide to go deep enough at it. Yes. And I think that's the distinction to be made. Because it's not about the topic being mundane or not. It's about going at it in depth. Yes. Once again, Panama, I think, is a great example of that. I think it's one of the best.
Yeah, even a car could be profound.
Yes, because once again, the emotions being portrayed are profound emotions that people can actually relate to. It's not about the car. It goes way beyond just the car.
And look, talking about emotional lack of control of your emotional battles at the beginning of this conversation. That's actually a good way to express your emotions, and done in a very beautiful way, in a way that is not overly melodramatic. It's not trying to attract attention by the wrong reasons. It's actually through virtue that you know what the song is about, because the music is fantastic. It's a fun track. It's clearly since the beginning this is fun, and it's an embodiment of the whole concept of fun. And nowadays I haven't heard a track from any form of mainstream artist, and me being someone who works in this, I always try to keep an eye on wherever it's current, just to see what would be the trends. And you know what? I haven't seen any new trend developing in the last 8 years, and I think you kind of concur on that one, right? Yeah. Because back in the early 2010s, when I began doing this, there was a huge always there was something coming up in the mainstream, like Katy Perry sound. Then you got Akon. Then you got One Republic. All of those Kings of Leon. All of those records had flair. Yeah. There was always something new to learn as a skill, or even developing the taste for producing someone in the basis of that reference, man. And you were always trying to learn how music was being produced, and especially trying to catch up with whatever was current, because when Lordi, what's the pronunciation?
It's Lordi.
Yeah, Lordi, wherever, that chick from Australia, it came up with her first album. That was also like, damn, I don't like it, but it's working. Damn, that sound is at least creative, man. Yeah. And became a hit, well, for different reasons, but whatever. It hasn't been the case for almost a decade at this stage, because Bruno Mars and then Daft Punk released that album, the only good that album, and that was also a huge bang, man.
It was indeed,
because the sound, like I was discussing here in the studio with the drummer, like, dude, the sound is kind of like Marvin Gaye, yeah, but it sounds punchy, right? Yeah. How did it? I don't know, man. That's awesome. Yeah. The singing, everything was great.
But I think it relates a little bit with the whole notion of trends, because you talk about trends and how they are not even a thing anymore. I think we saw a few cycles of music trying to be trendy, and I think that was part of the downfall. Because if you think of Black Sabbath.
Yes.
Do you think they are trendy? No, they're simply good.
Uh-huh.
There's in the thing that the notion of being trendy, I think, is superficial in nature. I think it holds no substance. If you're just pursuing whatever is trendy at that point in time, for instance, you're basically forsaking substance for the sake of what allegedly works.
Yeah, Joe, but what I'm trying to say with this is that at least at that period, in that period, there was still the pursuit of coming up with some form of uniqueness. Personality was still present in music making, man. And I'm talking about the ultra mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
The obscure good shit, it's always there. Always delivers, but it's because
and still is.
There's a reason why it's obscure good shit.
Yeah.
The thing is that back then, even the mainstream had some form of competition. There was some form of creativity involvement, because you could tell the difference between Lady Gaga and Lordi. Clearly, just by the first few seconds, without any of those singers singing like this. Now, I can tell the difference between Lady Gaga and freaking Katy Perry. One is hot. The other one, I don't know if it's a guy.
The thing that you see, even the artists that well, we're not talking good or bad right now. We're talking personality. Even the artists that had personality, let's say 10 years ago, thinking ultra pop. I'm thinking Beyonce. I'm thinking Shakira. I'm thinking artists that, for the good and for the bad, they had a style. They had a personality of their own. And nowadays, even those same artists...
Beyonce was black back then.
Yeah, exactly. It was part of the personality.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at those very same artists, it's very hard to tell one apart from the other.
Yes.
I think we got a new comment coming in.
I hear Christian saying that I found a good cover song lately. It's emotional because of the situation in Ukraine. It's minor worries of the world. Oh yeah, but it's a cover. Okay, I assume, because I can't read the last part. I think it's in Russian or I mind Ukrainian, because it's using that kind of Cyrillic alphabet that I can't read.
Yeah.
Okay, I will give it a shot. Yeah, Manowar. Look at that. Manowar is. Are you aware of those guys?
I am aware of them. I'm not deep into them.
They're bad. In mine, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan the Barbarian, and all of the members of the band look like that, and their music is like that.
Is a reflection of that?
Yeah, it's over the top. It's like taking everything that is masculine from the 80s.
Alright, sounds toxic to me.
Uber toxic, but it's fun. No, but it was stunning chick, man. It's good, man. It's good, and it's fun. It's one of those bands like, yeah. They also sell, if I recall correctly, they used to sell in their website preservatives. wait, and they were called warrior shields. It's that kind of band, man. Awesome. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. Oh, it's Ukrainian. Yeah, I mind due to the language.
Yeah.
Okay, I will give it a listen, Christian.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, because I am quite fond of that song. I like it. So yeah, and there you got it. So the situation is kind of, see how much we have changed as a society.
Yeah.
Because a band such as this one that I just described.
Yeah.
Do you think it will fly?
No.
Today?
Not under current.
Those guys were huge back in the 80s. It's one of those bands that kind of were used later on in the 90s as a way to attack the corny metal by the grunge guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, these those bands. But now, coming back to the whole thing with music not evolving or is differently put, I think they simply stopped and stuck to one particular formula, the Homo Globo formula, I would call it. Because it's the one clearly created by a corporation.
Yeah.
It's the corporation approved blueprint.
Yeah, for music making.
Everything sounds the same way. And not only the creation of the music itself, when you hit the mixing station, I can tell the difference now. Not because they're that good. No, it's because it's so freaking bland, boring, devoid of personality. I am putting aside the music itself, okay? I'm thinking from a very technical perspective. Who full-on mixing engineer had engaged? I can't hear any form of texture. I can hear any form of expression from the mixing engineer, and also I can hear the producer and the band working together with the mixing engineer in the production of a sound that represents the emotions portrayed by the music. Not anymore.
No.
You can't tell back in the day you can and still of course because you can listen to those records still, but you can tell the difference between bands just by a few seconds out of the production, not even the music, because they used to have a particular tone to them, a very clear sound signature. For example, think of Iron Maiden. Mm-hmm. Any record from the 80s or even today, because even Iron Maiden has a distinction between eras, man.
Yeah.
Sound wise, you can tell if the record is from the 80s or the 2000s clearly. Even the 90s. Yeah, but the 90s we don't talk about those. And then and compare Iron Maiden versus Janis Joplin. Not Janis Joplin, bad example. I was thinking of another chick from the 80s. Cyndi Lauper.
Okay.
Everything is different.
100%.
Everything is night and day.
Yeah.
Because kick drum. Or Madonna, early Madonna, when she still gave a damn. That song has plenty of this.
There's flair.
There is flair, there is flavor, there is some form of extra spice to it. It's not just what ended up becoming later on.
Yeah.
Boring, formulaic, lacking of personality, I think is out of the whole thing with toxicity, man. Because I don't want to be perceived as somebody who is mean by a particular set of people. Yeah. Therefore, I will remove everything that might in a potential event piece of that particular tiny minority.
Yeah.
By doing so, I am excluding all of the people that were interested on what I was doing based on that particular feature.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this current set of circumstances that we're seeing now is very much a result of trying to homogenize thought. It's trying to minimize the whole notion of thinking outside of the box, which is also at the core of rock music, for instance, has always been the whole notion of not necessarily caring about how something is going to be perceived. It's doing your thing.
Yeah, do your thing.
Yeah. And nowadays, you're not necessarily treated as someone that thinks outside of the box. You're treated as a
pariah.
A pariah.
You're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a wrong thinker.
And I think that particular shift in the way that someone that thinks differently is perceived is also at the very core of how music has become a lot worse than it used to be.
100%.
Because I think that is what allows for music to actually have a personality. You have a different view of the world, you have a different way to perceive things, and you imprint that into your music, and that's something that holds your personality in it. Totally. It's something that can speak to a particular group of people. It's not going to be liked by everybody,
no,
but it does carry a soul. It has a personality.
Yeah. Because even haters will have a reason to hate on you.
Exactly. You don't even think new modern acts being hated correctly.
No. There's nothing to hate because there's nothing to be liked. Think about that.
Yeah,
Good point. Exactly. Sorry, I interrupted.
No. But I think this, and all in the name of diversity, which is even funnier. The whole idea, because I truly think that a good chunk of this issue we can try to dissect where it came from, but it does come from people
Frankfurt School stuff.
People thinking that they have to think in a particular way.
Yes.
Because once again, we wouldn't have bands like Led Zeppelin if they were worried on trying to think like everybody else. We wouldn't have Pink Floyd's if they were thinking about how to think about seeing the world like everybody else.
We wouldn't have Mozart. We wouldn't have Beethoven. We don't. It's not exclusive to the 20th century.
Yeah, but any of the good stuff.
Yes.
Because exactly what we love about great music is being.
You like the guy,
man.
No,
but we're being gifted with an external point of view.
Yeah.
It's being actually presented with a. I never thought of it like that. Like,
yes.
The whole phenomenon of having your mind blown by music comes out of that.
Agreed. Because think of this, man. We don't refer to the bands as a group of people. Mm-hmm. We refer to them as the creator of the music.
Yeah.
Almost like if we perceive them as an entity, as a person, right?
Yeah.
Why does that happen? It's because it becomes, we humanize the band itself, the concept of the band, due to the reaction we got out of the music, man. Because the music actually represents something. and it represents is the embodiment of the personalities, the united personalities of a bunch of people creating the music. Because what happens when you think of a solo artist, let's say Beethoven, you don't listen to his symphonies, you listen to him.
Yeah.
That's why I love the fifth. Everybody loves the fifth. That's not even a choice. But you listen to his stuff, man. I like him over Vivaldi. That's acceptable. I'm not gonna say that that's I can get it. I'm not gonna. I can make a decision on myself. But for myself, Beth is that kind of stuff, man. You listen to the guy.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy that actually is the guy humanity, the uniqueness, his personality, the creation of the music is based upon.
Yeah.
That was kind of like a Yoda speaking, but I managed to pull it off.
No, but look, but it makes sense because one of the things that make music and cherished and being such an expressive art form is the human connection that can be established through it.
Yes.
And I think nowadays music has lost that. I think most mainstream music nowadays has no form of connection attached to the experience of music.
It's because, are you implying that music is little by little no longer trying to sound human?
Yes,
Are
not
you,
even implying.
Are you implying that music is starting to be used to remove humanity by definition out of the people listening to that music?
Yes, it can be understood as such.
Are you implying that the people creating that music might have a nefarious plan behind it? By to remove humanity of the people listening to that music, therefore their will to be unique and being treated as individuals rather than a collective.
I never said that, but I never not said it either.
Allegedly,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, because that's the power of music, man.
Yeah, and now seeing the development, for instance, of AI music as well being pushed, because it is already being pushed. And of course, by the very definition, it lacks the human element in music making.
Yes.
But if you look at mainstream music, it has been lacking the human element for a few years already.
Yeah, we have said this before several times in different live streams, but the fact that we are kind of we already picked in that regard that AI music is difficult to differentiate itself from human music.
Yeah.
It's not out of the excellence of the machine creating music.
No.
It's out of the shittiness of the music that is being compared to.
Yeah.
Because humans are becoming way worse when it comes to writing music.
Yeah.
Why? Because they are afraid of being seen as toxic. Nobody, everybody stopped daring and trying to come up with something that is unique to them, man.
Yeah.
Because it might suck, yeah, and chances are that 70% of it, or 70% chances, you will suck. The music is not going to translate correctly. And what do you do then? You either stop or try another time. And eventually, if you put the effort and you actually have the talent, you will be able to write music that actually lands correctly 70% of the time.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible for you to be perfect and write masterpiece after masterpiece.
Yeah.
Because even the badass masters from eras ago, they don't have stinkers, but they don't have every single one of the pieces a masterpiece.
Yeah. No,
That's normal. That's human, man. It's impossible. You cannot come up with badass symphonies out of the blue every weekend.
Yeah.
Because if you are like that, that means that either you are not a human, or our standards have lowered that much that mundane.
Sounds like masterpieces. Yeah.
Which is something that is also a byproduct. It's something that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah, the lowering of the standards is actually very critical to what we're living through nowadays.
Applied to everything.
Yeah, it is indeed. And I do think that the notion of toxicity plays a role in that as well. Because, once again, we already defined that having a strong personality, having something to say, even the idea of having something to say, is already treated as toxic.
Yes.
So, in order for you to make something that isn't toxic, you have to sanitize it to the fullest. After the sanitization process, you have all of the generic crap that we have going around nowadays.
There is a term for it. Slop.
Yeah, exactly. And now, once again, thinking on the how the notion of AI music is also gonna be played now in the near future. See that in order to make music that flies under the current scenario, you have to strip it down from all personality. A machine, by definition, has no personality.
Yes, impossible.
But it's way better at compiling what works, because that's what it does basically.
Yeah.
So if you remove the personality elements, now you're actually within machine territory. They're actually gonna be better than us at making that.
Yeah.
Because
but that's if we let our humanity go away, be stripped down from us.
well, we're kind of letting.
No, we are very much in that point,
Yeah.
man. At that point, and how advanced it is, I don't know, because I don't want to accept that it's very much
Mm-hmm.
advanced. It's very it's way more damaging, and it has taken over so much, or taken away so much of humanity's own soul, that I'm afraid of actually looking at it from a very critical perspective.
Yeah.
Because you feel it, man. You kind of have this. There's something going on. It's not the same as it used to be, and it's not getting older, man. Our whole experience has changed for the worst, and it's something that is reflected everywhere. Because are you aware that we're a few months away from the beginning of the World Cup?
Yes.
And no damn is being given.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Even in the countries in which the cup is going to take place, man.
Yeah.
That's already concerning.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons, in my opinion, why is that happening? Because why would I care for something as menial as that when we got all sorts of effort happening everywhere, man? The situation is not fun.
Yeah.
And that plus this kind of, how can I describe it, like miasma-like bubble surrounding us, that is little by little, even though portraying itself to be like, all right, nothing has changed, everything's still the same, something's is rotten at the core. It's like a dream in which you're not fully awake, but you are conscious enough to tell that there is something funky, but you are unable to realize you're still dreaming.
Yeah. But most people are waking up.
Yeah, the thing is that what you see once you open your eyes is not good, man.
Yeah.
It's way worse than your mind.
Well, look, the way I see this, once again, bringing it back to the whole notion of toxicity, I feel that all of those emotions, all of those reactions, all of those attitudes that were framed for many years now as toxic
Yes.
and suppressed at a societal level, they never stopped existing. They were just suppressed. And I think you can only bottle up this kind of stuff for so long. I think people had those natural feelings pushed down for years now, and simply they're starting to bubble up to the surface.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reactionary movements that we see nowadays, a lot of the most reactive positioning of people is a result of those things that were at their nature, at the very core, being denied for a good chunk of time, and things that you cannot deny. For as much as you try, you can only pretend that they are not there, but you can never fully make them
Go away. They won't simply disappear.
Because the contrary nature of people, the more aggressive, the more anti. Once again, it's not anti-establishment, but just the non-conformist nature. That's something natural.
Yeah.
Because if you're living through, if you're seeing around you stuff that you don't agree with, if you think it's wrong, it's only natural that you're gonna have a bad reaction to it.
Of course, it's actually it's an aversion to what we consider to be wrong.
Yeah, but since those kind of reactions were kind of suppressed for the longest of times, nowadays they're coming back with a vengeance.
Yes.
That's why I see that the next few years being very different on this regard.
It will change, because I think that we're starting to see, out of what happened last week, I think last week was kind of like cathartical to a certain degree. It's like a very much a breaking point, a turning point, look at that, for everything, because that was what pushed many people to finally wake up, to start to realize how the situation actually is. And it's beyond politics, man. This is now societal, a society level problem. It's in the way that we interact with each other. We lost the concept of discourses. We lost the concept of civil interaction. And sad news for those of you who weren't awake. It's been like this for a while, man. This is nothing new, and the reason why it feels this way is because some of us who have been noticing for a while are starting to get tired.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones who are waking up to this nightmare are doing it way too late. So what they see is way more horrific than what they expected. So too late, but it's never too late to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too late for you to wake up.
Yeah.
Because now it's gonna be harder, and it's gonna be tougher, and it's gonna. But in the end, I think it's gonna be better in the long run because it's gonna allow for the creation of better times.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's toughening up many people, man.
Yeah.
It's the kind of shit we needed to go through in order to grow our spine back.
Yeah.
Because we truly threw it away. The last 15 years, we were spineless as a world,
Yeah.
as a society. Call it Western civilization in particular, because we truly were like full on the kumbaya. Everybody should be friends. Like, nah, man.
And complacent.
Yeah. Because there are people who doesn't like you.
Yeah.
See how it could be turned into a macro situation as well.
Yeah.
Because if you understand that you won't be able to be loved by everyone, because somebody will disagree with you, is normal and it will happen.
And it's correct.
And it's correct.
Yeah.
Why would you expect them to think that?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you expect them to love you?
Mm-hmm.
Just cause,
Yeah.
or be the same way as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Many places are starting to see that. Yeah, not everybody's the same.
Yeah.
Wow, who would have thought? Who would have saw that coming? Who would have seen that
Imagine
coming? No, man. So, wow.
But look, I do think that we are already at a point in time where even that notion of toxicity, once again, is getting old.
Yeah.
I think that's actually falling flat on its face. It's still a thing to a degree, but I think we're almost past it.
Yeah.
And now on how that's going to reflect at rock music, for instance, we already made the case on why this was part of the downfall of rock music. Now, coming back to our senses, is going to be part of the rise of rock music
Great,
again.
man. Because even though this has been kind of a doom and gloomy conversation, I foresee greatness.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think we're gonna come out of the woods gloriously. It's not gonna be an easy walk. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be intense. We're gonna end up full of bruises and scratches. But it's not about it's about the friends we made along the way. No, it's gonna be actually. It's gonna, but as well.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's gonna be. It's gonna allow us to have the experience, to have seen, to have lived through all sorts of, but everything we're going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this experience will allow us to create a better future. For how long will that future last? That's up to the next generation.
Yeah.
And also how, or on us, on how good we keep up with what we end up creating later on. And in music, that translates into a total rejection of the Homo Globo operation. I think this whole thing with the overly manufactured product is gonna go down, man.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not coming out of my own interpretation or my wishful thinking, because look at Hollywood, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to measure the temperature of a room when it comes to the cultural impact of the monolithic stuff. No Marvel movie has been successful in the last year.
In the last few years already.
No, but in this particular year, I think they only released freaking Black Captain America and Fantastic Four, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Flopped, both. The same happened with Superman. Barely managed to scratch the surface of meeting the budget, and everywhere else you see the same issues. Man. Nobody is showing any form of excitement.
Yeah.
Video games are being crashed by a independently made game, $20 game that is kicking every major studio in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Why? At least putting some soul and personality, because the game is full of personality. It's not a bad game. It's meat. Back in the early 2000s, it would have been, yeah, but it's not here. The thing is that when everything is mediocre or terrible, something above average is perceived as a masterpiece, and that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we're starting to see this, and the fact that it's becoming successful, it's pretty much the sign of the beginning of a new era.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Because you see the total rejection of what is coming out of the establishment and what is and backed up by big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
and it's starting to be not replaced, but it's being challenged by tiny microscopic guys with tiny budgets compared to those monstrosities of corporations.
Yeah.
And the same applies to music, man.
Yeah.
Because well, think of this. Who do you think is much more important when it comes to the cultural zeitgeist? Joe Rogan or the entirety of CNN?
It's not even a fight.
No, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
And that could be said about Sam Hyde, Tim Pool, all those guys, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even the guys on the left, Hassan Piker, and all of those, all of those guys have way more impact, culturally speaking, traction and actual impact than any of the gigantic monolithic institutions.
Yeah.
And that is replicated everywhere, man. And we're starting to see not only the beginning, the establishment or the foundational stages of what is going to become the new way our society will develop, which is no longer centralized by or controlled by the powers that be. It will be independent.
Yeah,
that's good.
It isn't. That's excellent
because that's what fosters creativity, man.
Yeah, and once again, is people are gonna be gravitating towards whatever they relate at a personal level.
Yes.
Once again, the whole notion of personality that's gonna go back to being a thing.
Yeah.
You're not gonna try to fit in with the entirety of the crowd of the world. You're gonna find your own crowd, and that's how it should be.
Think of someone like Pink Floyd. That band is cherished, or at least respected.
It is.
Why? Because their music is not for everyone, clearly. Plenty of people hate on them because I never get their music is boring. You, sir, have a little tiny brain. But no, all jokes aside, I get it. I understand something is not your jam. The same what happens with me with several bands. But their respect they got and the universal appeal the band has is not out of the music, it's out of the concepts, which are universal.
Yeah, indeed.
Plus the music, which helped a lot, and great imagery, because the whole package was proper. Was a good product, man. That has appeal for here to the end.
Yeah, it's never gonna go out of fashion.
Never. The same what happens to Metallica. Why Metallica is the same? It's a hated yet super beloved band. Why?
In equal measures, basically.
Yeah. Why? Because they are many things. But what they are the most is good. So on that note, take one.
Also, girls and boys, it was good to have you here in the conversation with us. We do this on a weekly basis. We're always here on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Central, having conversations that pertain whatever is going on at the music world.
But mostly culturally speaking.
Yeah, but from musicians' perspectives.
Yes.
And if you would like to join us on conversations such as this one, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. That way you're going to be notified whenever we do this again. And also leave comments because it helps keep the conversation going, and YouTube loves that if you want to support the efforts here.
Yeah, arouse it.
Yeah, YouTube gets tickled when you drop a like and a comment.
It starts to get kind of watery. So with that being said, as every single time we meet you, we remind you that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about, and remember that we'll see you when we see you.